On today's video, we're going to be working on this bathroom exhaust fan. On the initial call, the issue was even though the exhaust fan was plugged in, it wasn't running. When the wire was being pulled out, there was a loud pop noise that came under here from this panel, and this is where we have the 120 volt supply. Whenever you're dealing with an exhaust fan, you always want to make sure that you remove the 120 volt supply that is incoming from the breaker. But also the other way is the exhaust fan turns on and off with a switch. It may be a switch that controls with a light, or it may be a separate switch. Once you hit that switch to the off position, you should no longer have 120 volts. Here I have my non-contact voltage detector, and you can see here that I am picking up voltage. I'm gonna remove it away, bring it back in. So it is picking up voltage behind this panel. Here I'm going to turn off the switch. This is what supplies the power to my exhaust fan. Here I'm going to engage my switch on my non-contact voltage detector, and I should not have any voltage coming in. Here I'm going to turn the switch back on, and you can see that my non-contact voltage detector is picking up voltage. I'm going to switch off. You can see here I'm not picking up voltage. So right now I do want to remove this panel, and I do want to inspect the electrical wiring coming out that feeds the 120 volts to my exhaust fan. You can see here, as soon as I pulled it out, you can already see the wire, the prong came out of the base where you plug in your exhaust fan. But you can also see charring here on the neutral wire as well as the ground wire. I just think what happened was when there was force being applied to pull it out, it pushed out and then dropped and tapped the ground wire. So we are going to have to replace our outlet insert. Just going to remove our wire nuts. Here we have an insert from another model of an exhaust fan. I was able to save the electrical base, and I'm going to remove the outlet insert and install it on the old one. There's just two clips that hold it in from the back. Once you kind of apply pressure and push them in, the insert will slide right out. Same concept applies to the old one. Just push it in and then pull it right out. Once you remove the old one, just gonna take the new one and slide it right in, and it'll clip right into the base. So here I did reattach my wires. When you're sliding the base back, you don't grab any wires. We're gonna reapply the 120 volts. So here's my non-contact voltage detector. You can see we do have power applied back to the exhaust fan. Now we're just going to plug in our exhaust fan. So here was a pretty simple fix. We were able to find the problem. Initially, the fan wasn't running because you can't see it from this position, but when the exhaust fan was plugged in, it wasn't getting the necessary voltage due to the prong coming out on the back of this insert. This is a fairly common problem that I do run into. Again, you just want to be careful from pulling the wire out and pulling it in multiple times. You are causing stress on your prong, on the insert. Remember that this does have 120 volts. If this lead is tied in to the wire nut and is tied into the wire that's coming from your switch that comes energized from your breaker, there is going to be 120 volts, so you do want to be careful. If this video was a help, if it was informational, please subscribe.